How y'all doing? I was a little jealous of Lucinda went to the beach because I was trying to stay dry before talking to Yvonne today. I was like, I can't sweat.
You look good, boo. You look good.
No, I saw you coming off the boat, though. I was like, hello, I'm Cori. I'm going to be talking with you.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good.
How many of you guys liked Insecure, the first episode?
Yay.
I decided when it premieres in October, I'm going to have people over and we're going to have a drinking game about how many times they say pussy.
Oh, okay. Y'all going to be drunk. Y'all going to be lit. It's going to be real lit.
But what I love about it, like all jokes aside, from the moment I saw it, was the friendship between you and, Issa's character, Issa. Yeah. Tell me, what drew you to this project?
So many things. Well, first, the breakdown said Molly, dark-skinned black woman. I was like, that's me. And I mean, as an actress, if anybody here are actresses, you don't see that on breakdowns. You're like, African American, 18 to 85, short, tall, eyes. You know, it's just like you don't know. It's so vast. And so when it was so specific, I was like, you know what? This might be the real MVP right here. And so thank you, Mom and Dad, for being dark. I appreciate y'all. So it fit. But it was also like I was very familiar with Awkward Black Girl as well. So I was familiar with Issa and Issa's voice, and I was just like, this is dope. Yeah. I want to be a part of this.
Now I know this is a big break for you, but not really, because you've come from, I was watching you on NPR, Code Switch, I don't know if you guys listened to it, they did a video series and they interviewed her, and it was about immigrant families. So you are
I'm Nigerian, where my Africans at? Nigeria, my people are there for this place. Anybody? There's always one, there is always. That's what the Bible said. It said wherever 2 or 3 are gathered, there's an African in their midst. So I know, y'all are here.
But are you from?
Yes, I was born in Nigeria.
Okay.
We immigrated, so if Donald Trump asks for my passports, I'm good, y'all. I'm good. We immigrated here when I was 6, and but we go home every year. So my dad was really big on us knowing where we're from and this other aspect of us.
Now, what I know when I hear of a lot of immigrant families is everyone wants you to be a doctor.
Absolutely.
And you told a funny story how your mother used to introduce you.
Oh, yeah. Right? So my mom is a nurse. So if you know any Nigerians specifically, there's a nurse in the family, at least one, and then like everybody's like a lawyer, engineer, a MBA person. Like we secretly believe Barack is Nigerian. Like I know he claims Kenya, but that's not facts. Because if the first person was gonna be anything, it's gonna be Nigerian. So I was going to be a doctor. Like that was my goal, and I actually have my master's in public health. And I got my master's because I was too much of a punk to tell my parents I wasn't going to go to med school. So I got another degree because that's what you do. And it was in the interim of that, like I knew I wanted to do something in health, and I didn't know I had this entertainment, because entertainment was not something that was heralded in our family. Like, you know, there were latchkey kids, like, oh, you know, when I watched the Cosby Show, I was like, what's the Cosby Show? I want to read. Like, it was like, I made it. You know, I was one of the few people that made it over here. Like, we gonna get all this knowledge. And so it wasn't until like I was 25 that entertainment was a reality. And so I started late in the game. And so, you know, that was a big thing. My parents were like, you want to start now to entertain. You're not serious. So, So it was definitely a different thing, because nobody in my family had done it. Nobody in my immediate, the reason why so many Nigerians are doctors, lawyers, and engineers is because they can literally go to someone's house and be like, my son wants to be an engineer. Your son is an engineer. Help him. Like, it's like my daughter wants to make people laugh for a living. They're like, take her to the church. It's a demon. It's like a devil inside of her. Like, what is that? So there's no tangible person that they can say has done it. Help. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're not wanting you to not do this thing that's creative, but it's literally they are afraid. They don't know how to assist you in that.
When would you say was the first moment you realized that you were funny or that you wanted to pursue this, publicly?
It was actually 10 years ago. So, it's funny when you're like, this is a big thing. Today is actually my 10-year anniversary of being on the stage for the first time performing stand-up.
Oh, happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. When people say it's an overnight success, that really is a long night. It was a lot of nightmares in there too. So I entered a pageant. It was the Miss Nigerian America pageant, and it was not like I wasn't out here trying to be Betty Lou Rawls or whatever. I was not out here thinking I was pretty or whatnot. But it was a favor to a friend, and I was like, I'm free on Saturday. Yeah, I'll enter your pageant. And they were like, oh, we need you to have a talent. And I was like, nah, we good. And I had just bought the dress. I bought the dress. I took out a Macy's card. I thought I was doing something. I spent $200. I was like, yes, I'm balling. And they were like, no, seriously though, what's your talent? And I remember just praying. I honestly, I was like, God, it's 2 weeks out. I'm now in debt for this dress, and I need a talent. And loud as day, I heard Holy Spirit say, do comedy. And I was like, kill yourself. And I was like, oh, dang, they already did that, my bad. And I was like, no, I've never done comedy. Like, there was nothing in my path that said I could do comedy. Plus, I also had an intense fear of rejection because I got picked on when I was, when I came here, I had an accent. So all the black kids. How you like me now?
All right, how many of y'all love her already? You love her, right? We love her. Go ahead. Keep going.
All the black kids would pick on me. So, I was called African booty scratcher, which I don't know how they ever saw me scratch my booty. I only did that in the privacy of the bathroom store. Like, I was never out just scratching. But anyway, so they would pick on me. So I had this fear of rejection. And, God bless my parents, but the whole time I'm like coming home from school crying. My mom was like, don't worry, they're just jealous of you. I'm like, no, they have friends. They're not jealous of me. And so I didn't think to be, and then this was like a performance in front of other Africans. I don't know if you've been around a group of Africans. We're the worst people in the world. I love them, but they will cut you down and kill your soul in the middle of you smiling. There's no chill with them. So I was like, I'm not doing this. And I remember Holy Spirit coming right back okay, cool, you don't have to do it. But what else do you have? When God asks you them questions that are rhetorical, you're like, you know what? You did create the world, so let me just go ahead and listen to you. So I sat down and wrote a 5-minute set. It was just funny because all I remember about comedy is sneaking into my parents' room and watching HBO's Def Comedy Jam, True Story, when the cable box was one in a room and it get hot, and it was in my mom's room, and we used to literally pick the lock to go in there every Friday and watch Def Comedy Jam. And I just remembered set up punchline. And I didn't even know it was called set up punchline. I just knew that these comics would say something and then they would stop and then say something else and people would laugh. So I was like, whatever that is, I need to make sure I do that consistently.
Because you smart.
Because, I got my degrees and whatnot. I'm also really single, so if you got a degree and whatnot, and... literally, that was the first time I ever did comedy, and people ended up laughing. I was so scared though, because I almost didn't want them to laugh, because I did my set as if it was a script, and I was like, can y'all please stop laughing so I can get through this? It's 5 minutes, and it would trip me out. Yeah. But afterwards, people were like, you were funny. I was like, I am. and then they were like, do you host weddings and other things? I was like, I do, yeah. So then they started paying me, and I was like, I'm really never going to med school now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad that happened. We're glad. It's funny at Essence. I shared with this briefly when we got off the boat here in Oak Bluffs. In Oak Bluffs.
Can you please stop saying got off the boat, because it's taking.
The ferry. Just say ferry.
Yeah, say ferry.
Ferry. Got off the ferry. Excuse me.
I mean, it's just bad for you. We flew. I know.
You mean?
I'm sorry.
Okay, I wasn't, okay. Anyway, as I was saying, at Essence, where I work, we were doing some research. We were looking at like the new wave of black comedians, and someone said, "Oh, you need to check out this video called First Gen." And I remember, have you guys seen her pilot? What is it? Pilot sitcom? Okay, they have.
The two Nigerians. What's up? How you doing?
But it's hilarious. It is hilarious. So share with everyone what First Gen is about.
Well, first Gen, I would say First Gen is probably one of the reasons that I got insecure. It was at a point where I had been doing this for years, and I was just trying to be obedient to Jesus, and I was like, yo, this ain't working out. I think you got this wrong. And literally, me doing First Gen was the last straw before I went back to Laurel, Maryland, when dreams go to die. And
you from
Laurel, Maryland.
PG County?
PG County? We don't hear these things.
But you tried to play me. You tried to play me. But go ahead.
PG County, Maryland? Okay, hold on. So we're educated. So it was literally the last straw before I went back to Maryland and be like, Mom, Dad, y'all won. I don't know what I was doing. I apologize. So First Gen is it's based off my life. It's about a girl who immigrates here from Nigeria, and she is supposed to be a doctor. She drops out of Harvard Medical School to become a comedian, and just the generational gaps that exist, not only between a mother and a daughter, but also an immigrant and a First Gen, like an implant. And for me, it'll be the first time, by the grace of God, that an African family is actually portrayed on mainstream American TV that is not like a warlord or, trying to scam y'all out of something. Like, it's just, we're just the neighbors next door. And so it was a passion project, but the reason why I say I think it helped me to get insecure is because I wanted to act. Like, when I actually got into entertainment, it was like comedy was my gateway drug. And I say that because when I moved to LA, I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm a black actress. And it'd be like, get in the line of the black actresses who have not made it. Like, just go, enter, stand right there. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to create something. And this is what I know. And it was like 2011, I didn't even know what a writer's room was. I got a free, unpaid internship in LA. And I was like, I don't know, they want me to go to this writer's room. I don't even know where it is. They was like, that's where people write scripts. I was like, oh, that's right, writer's room. That makes sense. I'm smart, y'all, but not necessarily all the way. So I was just like, oh, that makes sense. So that's when I first realized how to even write anything. And so I said, well, the little knowledge I got, let me put this together. But I just knew I had one shot to be excellent. Yeah. I had one shot. We raised the money. I watched every single thing we shot. When I went in and editing, me and my editor almost went to blows. I was like, you lucky I'm saved. You lucky I love Jesus. Like, for real. Because I was like, no, I want it like this. I want it very specific. Because, he was trying to edit it in a very stereotypical African way. Like, ooh, give us some more, like, sound effects. Kill yourself. No, like, it was just do what I want. So I was like, I have one shot to get this right because this is my calling card because I hadn't acted in anything, and so it's like, if this is going to be what people know me for, it has to be good. Yeah. And Issa saw it, and what I love, a lot of people don't know, Issa's half Senegalese, and so she related to it on the strength of like her father's side of the family being from West Africa as well. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. It's great. If you guys go home, Google it. It's really, really fun to watch. Thank you for that segue into Issa Rae. And being on Insecure, like I mentioned, I really love the friendship, and I had a chance, Jay Ellis, who plays Lawrence, Cutie Pie.
He really is more handsome than he is on there. Like, he fine, y'all.
Yeah.
He fine.
Yeah, he cleans up by episode 4. Just wait for it. It's worth it. But what he came out of the office just to meet us or whatever, and we asked him like, well, what does it mean to be here? He got really emotional about what it means to be on this show. Do you have a similar feeling about being a part of this? I don't want to call it a moment, but taking this journey with Issa on Insecure.
I think it's something magical in that, and Issa has said this, and I think we've all felt it, is that this is a show that really just allows us to be black. Like, it just, like by being black, there's nothing on top of it. We got issues. Like, Issa's trying to navigate work, Molly's trying to navigate life. Like, Jay's trying to navigate just being in despair and this like middle ground. I don't say none of us are doing anything special. Like we're not out here Olivia Poping it, you know, like we're not out here solving cases and being like, yeah, we bad. It's just like we're failing, actually. Like we're failing in life, in certain regards of life, and that's okay. It's like for the first time, it's like, it's okay. You don't have it all together.
One of my favorite scenes, not to cut you off, is when you're in the bathroom and you're just like, no one is that, because I was like, how many? I mean, all right, maybe
we've
that's
all
not,
had our growth
we've
moments.
had our moments.
Yes.
I won't ask y'all to raise your hands, but it was such a moment.
Whatever. No, I apologize for that pop. That was not. My mother would be upset. No, but it's like it just allows us. I mean, we all have the Olivia Popes in us. We all have the Viola Davises in us. We all have that. But then there are moments where it's just like, but what if nobody care about me? What if nobody likes me? I'm not. I know. Like, what if I don't get another job? What if these people don't like me? Like, there are those insecure moments that we have. Yes, we're able, because we're Black people and we're very resilient, to pull ourselves back up and be like, nah, we killing it. But there is that moment where we not killing it, but we always just feel like we have to, like, we can't let nobody else see that. Like, don't let them know. It's okay. And I think this show gives us permission to let people know that sometimes we're just real regular. And that's okay, because when you see a lot of white shows, they're just real regular. Like, Friends was a whole bunch of, like, friends not doing nothing. Like, did Phoebe ever get a job? Like, we don't know. She was always playing the guitar. And Monica, somebody worked at a coffee shop. You're 85 years old at a coffee shop. Like, nobody was like, get your life together. You know, it's like she was maxed out on credit. Like, but they were allowed to be flawed individuals. And I think this show gives us an opportunity to just be.
Now, you were at the Essence Festival? Were you at the event that they had?
Yes.
What was that like? Because I know that was like probably the first. Like, I think Lucinda mentioned, like, it was the first time you had it was shown to a pretty decent audience. What was that feeling? It
was magical, because like when you're in the mix of it, you're reading lines, you're reshooting, you're doing all this, and it's just like, okay. I mean, you're just going for 2 months straight, and you don't have time to stop and be like, yeah, this is dope. It's just like, we just happen to be working, man. The check came through. Glory to God. Okay. But then to see the finished product, and then to see the people who did know Issa from jump, before Awkward Black Girl, and then also to see new people who are just getting introduced in a space, and like seeing them laugh at it, seeing them get the jokes. Because when you're creating, it's your baby. If anyone's ever been pregnant, I haven't yet, because I don't have a man. But I mean, if anybody's ever had a baby, you're just like, I hope this baby come out cute. It's like, I know I'm cute, and I know my partner's cute, but I mean, you have kids, like, so your baby's cute. I saw her yesterday, but she cute. But there's that moment of like, I hope this baby that I'm about to bring out into this world look good and people accept her. So it was that moment of like, I hope they like our baby, and the reception was just so dope, because it was like, yeah, like, I mean, just sitting there right now, like the minute the static comes on and there's a HBO, I'm like, I body rolled in my seat. I did. But then also here too, to see the reception, like the play, as a comic, when you're about to hit that joke and you're like, I know they're not with me right now, but they're about to laugh. And then you hit it, and you're like, bam, they laugh. Ow. And so sitting there are moments where I'm like, okay, the joke is coming. Oh, they got it. So it's fun. It's fun because they get your baby.
Do you get to write on the show?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yet. No, I didn't write first season. But that's another thing I love about Issa. Diversity is such a word now that everybody's using, like diversity, and it's just like, it's not. I think someone said it's not a catchphrase. It's like a thing. It's a thing that actually exists. And Issa and Prentice together, Prentice Penny, the showrunner, they put together such a diverse writer's room. Like, you would think like, oh, it's just all Black people, because no, it wasn't all Black people. It was a lot of Black people, but we had a lesbian white girl, a gay Black dude, a straight white guy who was married, a Latino girl. So it was just like a really well-rounded writer's room. Even on set, this was the most diverse crew. Our sound team had a Latina girl and a Black dude. I'm like, that's just sound. And then one of our camera women was like a 60-year-old white woman, like on her knee trying to get this shot, but she was like, no, I got it. I was like, okay, Nobody's calling AARP. You good? Like you're like you good. So it's just like diversity all around, like ageism, sexism, like all of those things. I think Issa really and the team really made it a point to not just talk about it, but be about it.
Yeah, because as you've been navigating Hollywood, I mean, what was it like walking on set that first day and you saw?
Oh, it was magical. It was undoubtedly magical. Shooting the pilot and then HBO coming back within I think it might have been like 2 or 3 weeks to be like, y'all got the series. Because, you know, your contract is like, they could take up to 6 to 9 months. We're like, 6 to 9 months? We're not going to make it. And then it's like, no, in 2 weeks, HBO announces, it's like, they liked it. And so that was just telling that we were doing something really dope. But it was just magical in that we were able to tell the story that is pertinent, relevant, timely, good-looking. Melina Matsoukas, goodness gracious, she went from Formation to Insecure. It was just like, yes, I do this a lot. Y'all just okay. I'm real high.
Beyonce come by set?
The Beyonce come by set? No, not yet. Okay. We waiting for Obama. I thought he was gonna be here. Is Obama here? Hey. My brother. No, okay. No, but it was just really magical because I think everybody knew. Because Prentice will say, Prentice has been in the game, but this is the first time he's got to run his own show. Melina came from, the music industry to now doing this. So you look up, it's like, we really ain't got no worries. We got a black female director, we got a black showrunner, we got a black creator, we got black co-star. Kill yourself if you think this is about to be the norm. This is our new normal, and it's crazy. It was crazy.
What has been the biggest lesson you've learned? Because you shot the season.
We shot the whole season.
So what is the biggest lesson or takeaway that you've had?
As an actress, I think just trust yourself. I'm very expressive. I come from comedy, so theater for me, the stage for me is I use everything. I use my big eyes, I use my big lips, I use my hands. And I remember being on set, Molly's character is not that big. She's right here. And I almost felt handicapped because they were just less. I said, but I thought y'all wanted me because I was a comedian. And it was no, less. And the teasing away to the point where I would just do this. And they're like, no, we got it. I said, but I ain't do nothing. They were like, you did enough. And it was just you sure? Because I could give you more. Can we go another take? And trusting yourself to be what they wanted was what they wanted. And you're here, and that means they wanted you. And so you have what it is that they wanted. And trusting that you can do more than what you've already done. Because it's I know all my bag of tricks from comedy, but it's we're going to give you another bag, and we're going to fill that. And it was okay, I'm ready. So it was a good challenge. It was a good challenge, but I also love that everybody it was a lot of people's firsts. This was Prentice's first time. This was Issa's first time in this capacity. This was my first time. This was Melina's first time. So it was we were all allowed to grow together, and HBO entrusted us with that. And I thought that was really beautiful because sometimes you can be oh man, they've been doing this for 15 years and I'm the new kid and oh no. It's no, you're good. Hey, let's try this again. And it was just a beautiful atmosphere to learn and grow and build your craft.
Wow. So how much of you is in Molly?
You just gonna put all my business out?
I just asked a question.
I think we all have a little bit. I think we all have a little bit of Molly in us. Molly's smart. She's intelligent. She pretty. She is me. But I think when it comes to relationships, we have had that moment of that fail moment. We've had that now why are you texting back? Good and well. I do a joke where I talk about every woman has gone on a date, not because she really wanted to be with that dude, but she was just hungry. I call it foodie calls. It's just a foodie call. You was hungry. And I think we make those kind of mistakes. Molly is that chick that she goes 0 to 100 real quick. He loved me, girl. No, he just texts you back. But he could love me. And just because she wants something so bad that she makes bad decisions. We all, like, what woman doesn't want to be loved? What woman doesn't want somebody to put their love on top? That's for you, Beyonce. And so it's like when that doesn't happen, you go into like the mistakes. If any mistake unlearned any lesson unlearned is a lesson repeated. So I think Molly, has some of that in her, and I think we've all had those mistakes that we're like, dang, when are we gonna learn from this? I need to stop this. I can afford food now, so stop. No more foodie calls. You can't entice me with food.
Really?
I mean, I love food. I really do.
Does anyone in the audience have a question for Yvonne? I see someone over here.
I'm gonna bring you the mic. I'm right behind you.
I do have a question and a concern. Just call me old school. There was a lot of B word in there, and it wasn't said pejoratively. It was said with warmth. But can you just explain maybe the cultural difference, perhaps, between someone who, like myself, who has always had issues with the word bitch, and perhaps what might be considered a reclaiming of the word, based on the friendship that you have in this series? Absolutely.
It's funny because I had an opportunity to meet Issa in 2012, and it was like at a game night at her place, and it was the first time I saw her interacting with her friends, and they, you get in it, and like I don't curse in my real life, so I don't like. It's hard to tell, but I don't like in my real life. I don't use profanity, but just watching her interact with her friends, you could tell that was just like their language. It was just like their common language. It wasn't even a thing of I'm putting you down. And I on set, I told Issa, I was like, I don't have friends like how you have friends. I was like, my friends uplift me. They pray for me. I'm like, they lay hands on me and stuff. Like this is a different kind of friendship. So it was but her friends love her and support her, and they're as thick as thieves. Like 20 of them flew down to Essence just to be with them. So it's like it's a different, for me, even as an African American woman, it's like me seeing a different type of friendship. And so I think that's just the language, that's just their language that they speak within their collective group. So it definitely wasn't negative or derogatory in any way. And I don't know necessarily if like the objective is to reclaim the word. I just think it's just like, that's their thing. The same way like if you were with me and my friends, you'd be like, the blessing of Abraham upon you. No, that's not. Yeah.
Anyone else?
And we do have the aisle mics on, so y'all can feel free to step up to the microphone if you have any questions.
Don't be shy.
Well, okay. I was going to ask you a bunch of questions.
Hi, I really enjoyed you. I just wanted to know, how did Larry Wilmore become a part of, I noticed he was a co-writer, so I was just curious. It just seemed like I don't know that much about him and just how that happened.
Got it. Well, in the very beginning, I think Larry, before he got his show, so he was actually going to kind of to tease out the series with Issa and like really develop it, but then he got his show, and so he had to depart the project and do the nightly show, the nightly show. But he was still a part of it, so he's an executive producer on the show. So he helped her actually write the pilot.
And didn't he help create the Bernie Mac show?
He did that and Blackish. He was working on Blackish. So Larry Wilmore is like, he's like the black fixer. I don't know, like he goes in and really like helps develop ideas. So Issa was really, really bummed, like after he got a show. It was like, congratulations, but and then she was able to get Prentice Penny involved, and it all worked out.
One thing to piggyback on that was, because I've heard about HBO having Insecure for a while,
3 years.
3 years, and then for it to come. What is that? The waiting game.
I think a lot of you guys in here are creative, so you all know about that hurry up and wait. And I think I even found this out with my show. I was like, I shot something and we're gonna make it tomorrow. And a year later. So it's like there's the process of, it's not to get spiritual, but seed time and harvest. It really is. It's like you have a seed. Issa's seed was Awkward Black Girl, and it did what it was supposed to do. That's why we're sitting here. But there's a way, there's a time that needs to happen in order to take an idea from something that lives on the web to something that can be translated in a premium cable form. And so a lot of that is the time to get the right team. She took a lot of meetings before, Melina Matsoukas got attached to the project. A lot of meetings before Prentice Penny got attached. So it's like a lot of times you're just waiting, making sure you got the right team to get this, ship to sail, and then trying to figure out what is the story. What is that story? Because a lot of people are like, well, we miss Awkward Black Girl. This isn't like Awkward. Well, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It can be. It has to be different. And so that takes time.
But there's a lot of Awkward Black Girl guest stars.
There are, which again speaks to how dope Issa really is, because she's definitely I'm gonna put you on if I can, and I want to be in a position that if is very strong. Like it's not just if I can, it's when I can. And she, she has a long memory. So there were a lot of people who were involved in this, that were involved in her Issa Rae productions, that were involved in Awkward Black Girl as well. So I even say myself, again, I met Issa in 2012, and I thought we met on Twitter. I was like, oh yeah, 'cause I went over to her house and like, oh, how'd you guys meet? I was like, on Twitter, because I wrote her, and she was like, no. Like, I don't invite people to my house from Twitter. And so she was like, apparently, like in 2008, I posted a video on YouTube, and I didn't even know she was checking for me. She was like, I saw it, and I thought you were funny, and from that day on, I was like, oh, that chick is funny. So I'm like, you liked me. And so, but cut to, like, after that meeting, we would just see each other in passing. I would be hosting something, I would be performing, she would see it, and I was never on any of her online platforms. I never asked to be. I was just like, do you, boo, game recognized game, and then suddenly, like, 3 years later, she was like, oh, HBO's doing this show, like, you should audition. I'm like, I will. But so that's like a testament to, like, she remembers good content and good people, so she's dope. Oh.
Hey, how you doing? You're really good. You're very funny.
Thank you.
I don't know if you can answer this question, but I was just curious if Issa or the people who make decisions about hiring writers on the show, if they hired any staff writers who had never worked on a show before, like totally new writers in that way.
I'm looking at the writer's room now. I think a lot of the writers who I think got scripts, and don't hold me to this, they had written in other series, but there was definitely a lot of people around that were new.
What do you mean?
Like either as like PAs or either like writers.
No, I'm only curious about the writers.
Well,
She's specific.
No, I'm asking
I'm
asking this because I'm a writer, and I've been actually working as a writer in Hollywood for 20 years, and I've sold a lot of TV shows and a couple of movies, and I've sold them, but I've never actually been produced. So I was curious if she hired writers who had never actually worked on a show before.
And to answer that specific question, I think the people who were writers had written, but she surrounded even the writer's room with new people.
Okay.
Because how that works is that you got to get in somewhere.
Sure.
Because this is still HBO.
Sure.
And
Sure.
they need to see a resume. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they need to see people that can produce, but at the same time, Issa's going to surround that room of people who can produce with new people, so that eventually season 3, 4, and 5, those people can come up.
Sure, the assistants can be
like
writers.
I did that,
okay.
I was sowing seed.
Okay. Thank you.
So they can come up and hopefully become writers as well.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so
Hi.
I'm Vernee Myers. I loved the show. I think we're gonna have to put like subtitles on, right? Because it's just constant. But so anyway, I want to say thank you for what you're adding. I do diversity consulting, training, like in corporations. You have nailed this whole subtle, weird, unconscious bias, micro inequities. Okay,
Keep going.
There's
keep going,
language
keep going.
for this.
I was like, you read Webster today. Keep
Theater,
going.
I know. It's my work. I'm sorry, it's my work. But it is so beautiful to see it in art because this is what happens to people every day.
Every day.
And the fact that you have figured out how to put it there so genuinely and with so much humor is a gift. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Please get your HBO subscriptions. I mean, y'all could go half on it. It's $12 on Apple, Apple TV. Just get your roommates together.
To piggyback on that, there's an episode, I don't know if it's the third one, where you have, at your law firm, you have a new associate that comes in.
I do.
And she's quite colorful.
God bless it.
You could tell, the character, yeah.
Yeah, without giving too much away, but yes, there is that, when you're the only one, and a lot of us in here, we found ourselves in instances where we're the only one of color, or only woman or whatever, and that you've worked hard in that place so that you can get the job done, but at the same time, like, make people around you comfortable. And then when someone else comes in that's also like of you, and they're not as refined, you want to help a sister out, You want to be like, girl, there are rules to this, like, just without hurting nobody's feelings. And sometimes people are receptive, and sometimes they're not. And it's that walking that fine balance of, man, you're not about to mess up what I just built, and I'm trying to help you out, but it's just like, it's that fine line of what do you do, and the guilt and it's so much pressure. That's so much pressure to have to be the token and the trainee and the trainer. It's just like, man, again, you just want to be able to live. But as anyone in this room will let you know, if you're of brown skin, you can't just be sometimes, and that comes with a price. And so, yeah, so it was a lesson in how to navigate corporate situations. So.
But it's a great scene. You killed it.
Did I kill it?
Yes,
oh
yes.
my God. No, but again, I almost feel like I can't take any credit. Like, it's just the writing is so good because it's not like they're sitting there saying, how do we push buttons? How do we talk about blackness? It's like, no, we're all black. Prentice he's been writing for 14 years. He's been the only black writer on several shows in a 14-year career. So it's not like he has to think about the subject line. It's like, no, we're going to talk about it. And like, how do we navigate it? Because that's what I've had to do my whole career. And so because it's coming from such an honest and authentic place, it translates on TV because we're not making it up. It's our real life. The struggle is real.
Being a writer, though, how do you write nuance? Because or is that acted? What is that?
I think it's both. I think it goes hand in hand. I think the nuance is the truth in it, the authenticity in it. Because you don't have to be big when you're being honest. It's like, what does waking up look like? That's what is that? No, nobody wakes up like that. Like, not even like waking up is just like, oh man, the sun, dang, I'm tired. I think I want to go back to bed. You thinking, you grab your phone. Like, it's like, that's honest. That's what you do it every morning, so you know what that looks like. So nuance really is just being true to who you are, true to the words, true to the character, and just true to the experience. And I think that's even Issa's choice of setting this in Inglewood, California, like, the city almost becomes another character. And so to talk about nuance, it's like, we're not black in anywhere LA. We're black in one of the blackest places in LA. And so that kind of adds to the whole feeling of it too. It's like when you're at Crenshaw Mall and shooting and people are like, yo, what y'all doing? It's like, yep, we here, yep. Hello, do that one again? Great. Can you just not interrupt? It's just like, that's that realness. It's like, yep, take two.
Yeah, we were watching the episode at work, and a couple of my coworkers are from LA, like LA, you know, like Baldwin Hills,
Yeah.
and the scene with the Ethiopian restaurant. They were like, "Yo, that's you
Real
know,
talk.
like, yeah."
And it's like, how many times have you passed by on Fairfax and seen a production crew? None. I haven't, because it's like nobody's going to the Ethiopian restaurant to shoot.
Yes.
But Issa's like, this is my favorite Ethiopian restaurant. I was like, you don't want to go to the Nigerian restaurant? We had a moment. I'm just joking.
Well, moment. This is Yvonne's moment. Insecure's moment.
Our moment.
Our moment.
This is our moment.
Support Insecure. Get your HBO. HBO Go. Is it going to be on HBO Go?
Thank you,
so-
Cori.
Thank you.
You the real MVP.
Oh, PG
And thank
County.
you all. I know I was the substitute teacher y'all didn't know you wanted, but you love me. You do. Issa says hello.
No, she's great, but go check out First Gen. That'll hold you over till Insecure premieres on
Bam.
October 9th.
And so, Cori, before you leave the stage, I'm going to take 1 second to put you on the spot because you mentioned that you work for Essence. So, as the entertainment director, we just want to know, what is it going to take to get Yvonne on the cover of Essence?
Hey, Sheto Rabasanta.
How we gonna make that?
Hallelujah. Hey, Rababashanta. Girl, who planted you? I mean, y'all just got Uzo on the
I was
cover.
gonna say, we are going a trend of Niger.
I got next?
Nigerian.
I got next?
2017, like later.
She not serious. My mama needs
We're
me on that.
recording this. We're recording this.
2017?
I will give a proper answer though. We are doing a lot of new people on the cover, so it could be something in the quick foreseeable
Girl, you are
future.
so beautiful. Look at all this. Look at this leg. What you wax? Girl, you beautiful. Oh my God. I love your highlights. Girl, you out here.
Well, again, we just want to thank both of you for joining us for such a lively discussion. Again, we have Cori Murray and Yvonne Orji.